Even when you lost, there's always a hope. Rise and fight.
Welcome back, guys. We are joined by a special guest this time around, and it is the founder of OptiMonk. And for those of you that don't know, he was a former StarCraft player named Cameleon, and I consider myself old school. He's even more old school than me. He was playing in one of the first few WCGs with the superstars back then. Elky, Gur, Blackman. I mean, all types of players that everybody knows, and they are legends in the scene. So very nice to meet you, man, and thank you for supporting the BSL. How's it going today?
And I felt myself old already, but you made me feel even older. So yeah, it's great. And it was so great and nostalgic to see all these great games. I mean, this PvP, it was master. I mean, I still get goosebumps from that move of just killing that Dark Templar with that Reaver and shooting your own dragon. It was such a great move. And still, after such a move, losing, I'm super disappointed.
Yeah, that was an amazing play from Bonneth. You really don't see that often, and I know you're a Protoss player, so you know that that is a very unique move. Why don't you tell us about how you got into StarCraft and why you're supporting the BSL?
Yeah, well, I played in the early 2000s, and when I was just still in university before founding my first company. So I played like for 5 years, and I was the Hungarian champion for a couple of years, and I participated in the World Cyber games in 2001, 2, and 3, even in the European Cyber Games, and well, I haven't reached any high level, and I haven't won in these World Cyber Games, but I guess I was still a solid Protoss players in those times. But then I founded my first company, and the business got in the way of just playing more StarCraft, and I just falling behind in the ladder. And then I had to realize that I can either be good in StarCraft or I can be good in business, but I cannot do both. And I really hated losing, so I guess I kind of had to stop playing StarCraft at the end of maybe 2008 or 9, around that.
Yeah, I mean, you got in the early stages of Brood War. I would say you kind of got through the entire life cycle of Brood War because it ended quite shortly after that in 2010 when StarCraft 2 came out. Now, you said you started your own company, OptiMonk. Tell us about that. I'm also a programmer, so I know a little bit about what you do, but why don't you explain how OptiMonk works?
Well, OptiMonk is a tool which helps e-commerce merchants, store owners optimize their revenue. It's a software as a service, and we are a Hungarian-based company. So most of our colleagues are in Europe, but we have colleagues all around the world, even in Asia, and we have in the United States. And mostly we are serving United States and Canada and Australia and UK and all the English-speaking countries. But we have more than 4,000 websites using Optimum already around the world. So I would say that it's already quite popular. And I also have some former StarCraft player in my team. In the very beginning, a couple of my friends from StarCraft joined the team. And well, even right now, if I see StarCraft as some kind of background with any new candidate in the team, I highly appreciate that, and I think that having a StarCraft background is really a plus whenever you are joining an IT team.
Yeah, I agree because whenever you find a StarCraft player, you know they're hardworking, you know they're dedicated. They are definitely dedicated because if you're still playing StarCraft 5, 10 years, 20 years after it came out, you know that they are committed to their work. They want to be the best at it. So I definitely agree with that. And we heard a rumor from Zero that if anybody on your team beats you in StarCraft, they get a little bit of a gift from you.
For 6 months.
Oh yeah, well, it's not a gift, but actually you can get a brand new MacBook Pro if you beat me. That's the rule, and it has been the rule since the very beginning.
Has anyone won?
No, not yet, not yet. But not too many pro gamers actually joined the team. To be honest with you, I mean, if these guys who are just playing joined the team, I'm sure they would have won a lot of MacBook Pros. I really, I'm not at that level. But of course, compared to someone who just played as a hobby and haven't played it really competitively, I can still stay play okay. Um, I just played a couple of months ago, just out of curiosity, and I don't remember all the hotkeys. I don't remember, but just whenever I just put my hand on the keyboard, it just remembers. My left hand
Yep.
remembers.
Yep, that is so true. And what do you think about the ladder? Did you play ladder? What are your thoughts on the skill level these days?
Well, I haven't. I haven't
Oh no.
haven't in like 10 years. So I would say I would have been crushed. But really, I mean, seeing all these players having this macro and micro, this is really amazing. I was more like I was more strong in macro, and just pushing out early and hoping that the other will not attack me too soon, and that I can
Yeah.
just live long enough so my macro can win the game. But these guys, I really nail both, and I think that the business is really very similar to this StarCraft, and I think that's one of my main conclusions is that to build a successful business, I see that you need to have the macro and the long-term thinking and the strategy and to see what are the others are doing and all this high-level strategy stuff. But you cannot ignore the small stuff. You cannot ignore the micro. You cannot ignore the details, of the business. And you really have to just fight the fires every day and do all the necessary small micro movements and save the dragons and the probes. So
It's the best metaphor I think I've ever heard from StarCraft to business. Actually, that's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, I'm curious because since you're from the beginning of esports, basically, WCG was one of the first, if not the first, tournaments. What do you think about esports these days? Because it has blown up. Like, I'm sure you've seen all the events like League of Legends. Counter-Strike was back in the original WCG. That's blown up. StarCraft 2 has blown up. What are your thoughts on where esports is going? Or do you have any words for like future gamers, like the next generation of gamers?
Well, actually, I cannot give any prediction on the future of esports. It's as you said, it's growing crazy, and I really played in the very beginning. But as a father of two daughters, I can say that I don't think that playing computer games and playing competitively is bad. I think that it can really give you a lot of skills and it's much better actually than watching TV or YouTube or doing. There's a lot of other dumb shits which you can do with your time and playing on your computer. I think it's really good, especially if it's such a great game as StarCraft. So I still, I mean, my daughters are like 7 and 4, so they are still very young. I haven't taught them StarCraft, but when they will be old enough, I will start teaching them StarCraft. And who knows? Maybe they can even beat me
Have you
one day.
prepared your heart in case they choose Zerg yet, or is it one of those things you're just going to let them know you're playing Protoss?
It's up to them. I'm really a liberal parent, so they can choose their own race.
Yeah, well, I know Artosis, who you know, he also has a daughter around 6 to 7 years old. Maybe one day in the finals, they'll face off versus each other. I'm sure Artosis will not allow her to play Protoss, so it might be a Terran versus Protoss final potentially there.
All right.
Yeah.
So I will have to prepare my daughters for that. All right.
Yeah.
I'm open to that.
Well, do you have any questions, Diggity?
I think that just about covers it.
Well,
I really appreciate actually, this is, what would you say to other sponsors actually who are thinking about getting involved in BSL? Because right now, I know that Zero has gone full time. We're looking for additional sponsors. And business owner to business owner, do you have any words?
Well, I can only repeat you that here there's a lot of super smart people watching these games. Anyone who is really playing StarCraft on a high level must be a smart human being. So if you really want to reach these super smart, young, talented guys and people, I guess it's really a good place. And if anyone is interested in joining such a team, then of course OptiMonk is here, and we would welcome anyone. I guess that's my only message.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. I do have one last question. We're almost into the round of 8. Who do you think will win, or who do you want to win? I know there's a representative from your country, Ziki. He's in the top 8 already, and he's a monster. Maybe you're rooting for him to go the distance.
Yeah, I mean, he's a Zerg, so it's a hard choice. Hungarian on one hand, but Zerg on other. Still, I think I think I will root for him, because I would really love to see the Hungarian flag at the top.
Okay, well, hopefully he goes the distance for you. He has a really good shot. He's been playing fantastic. So thank you so much for sponsoring the BSL, and thank you so much for giving us this short interview. And
yeah, thank you, and I wish good luck everyone, guys. So
okay, thank you.
Keep up the good work. Bye-bye.
Yep, thanks. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Even when you lost, there's always a hope. Rise and fight.